All right, guys, good morning. We are starting our class for today and we will continue from the place where we left yesterday, right? The place we left yesterday is here, line 16, basically, or line 14, right? This line. So, what we saw yesterday, right? What this register function is doing, this is, see, use form. I mean, we install the React hook form, right? We install that and we import here, okay? Something called use form hook. This is a function, built-in function inside the React hook form. You just execute that function, right? It will be like this, okay, like this. Now I put this here, right? The angle bracket and give the schema to this form. So I'm telling this form, please handle my data coming something look like this schema. So I just have title. I always gonna have title and description for you to handle, right? So we just have to tell this form, please handle the data look like this schema. This is the blueprint, right? So that's how you give this schema to the use form. Done. Now this will return the object, and I just destructure now, right? So here you get many things. Like you're gonna get control, something called control, right? And something you're gonna get handle, submit. Also, you're gonna get maybe let me check. I think form state or something like that, right? Let's see here. Yeah. So form state also. Okay. So form state is the object. So you can destructure, right? And that object has many things inside. Okay, like error and many other things, right? Like form state. So this is the object. Okay. And if this is the object, you can destructure here. I just need something from this object, right? Like how you gonna get the errors, something like that you can get. So these are the things coming from this use from hook. This is a function, right? And this function is giving me back all these things. Register is a function. Control is basically, I think, something. Let's call it maybe control, right? It's kind of control issue from data. Okay, so this is also kind of object, right? So you will see how where this is used. Okay, why I just put here, right? Why? And handle submit is, this will handle our submitting data when you submit the form button, right? The button can have type of submit. You can put that here. Good to go. So when you submit that, this will handle that form data to submit. Okay, and this is a function. So now, right, I have this register. Okay, if I go back and I need to handle submit. One more thing, now I need to change this to form. Okay, let's do that, right? Because this is a form, make it form so that handle I can use that on submit. So here I can use on submit. When I submit the button, right? This is HTML on submit. You remember that, right? When you submit the form, you know that's it. On submit, I want to call that function handle this function, right? This function will take uh, this function will basically take the another function inside, right? Like this callback. This function takes callback function. Okay, yeah, and then in the property here you get the data, right? And console, let's console log the data. Okay, console dot log data. So very simple. You submitting the form, you calling this function, right? And that function will take another function, callback function, and you have data now inside this parameter, right? This is the data. So what is this data now? This data is the field from here, like whatever the title and the description, right? These two things will be here. But see, the thing is, this description is not this simple MDE is not going to work, right? If I put here, okay, first let's check this, right? Let's check this, and then we're gonna move to the next step. So let me run the server npm run dev. So this is the process, right? You're gonna learn. Okay, this once you know how to use this use form, right? React hook form. Always, this is just the one process. You will be always doing the same thing for every form submission. Okay, so maybe it looks a little bit confusing, but trust me, you just have to practice a little bit, and once you know all this formula, right, it just become easy. You will not remember. You just have to look at the code and try to implement, right? But once you do couple of time, you will remember. Okay? So here server is running. There is some error. No, right? Everything looks fine. Let me run this. Because we just have a title right now, right? I put register in title and it should give me the title. Okay, now if I go back here, if I submit this form, right, and put something in the title, I will get the data. I should get. Okay, so let's check. So go to the issues and I will create new issue, and I'm gonna, so you want to see in the console log here, right? Okay, so I'm console logging something there. I don't know why. Oh, okay, I have this, right, because of this. Okay, remember I want to show you the register, right? Register, it, like a register function returns the object, right? And it has so many things. Look at here, it gives you object, it has name, unblur, unchanged. These are the property, right? Because I need to take all this, I need to add all this property. That's why, we did this structure. Remember this structure? So I'm adding everything coming from this register function, because I'm going to need this, right, to handle my change here in this field. I'm going to type something. So on change will tackle that change, on blur whatever it will do, right, and then reference whatever it will do. But these functions are doing something, so it has everything here built it, right? Okay, let's do one thing now. Submit the form and see what happens. I will close that and I'll say a bug, right? Maybe bug 2 and submit. I don't have anything because I'm not doing anything with the uh, this library, right? Simple MDE. I'm not submitting anything here, okay, until now. So submit and look at that. So it just give me the name title, right? I get name title, title, right? I get that one. And where is the data now, right? So something, I should have a data also, name title. I have the title, but I just did not get this information, right? Like with bug. So it just give me the whole thing, data, console log data, right? Okay. Oh, I did not delete this one. Sorry, guys. I still having there, right? Let me delete that. So now refresh and submit again, right? Look at that. That's what I'm looking for. So I have title with bug 2. This is the object. Look at that. So the data here, right? This data is the object which gonna have, excuse me, sorry guys. Oh my god, I forgot to turn off the mic. Right? So this data is everything you're gonna send from the form fields. The first one is the input title and the simple MDE, right? So this simple, the problem now, right? The simple MDE does not work directly with the React hook form, does not. How are we going to solve that? So React hook form says, right, I will give you something called controller, right? Use this controller to handle your libraries, other library form, right? Use that one. So get controller. So now I will just go below this, call that controller component like this. It will take the first thing is name. So name will be description. Now it will take what it will take, like control property also. So you have to call the control now, right? Control. Okay. So that's why you need this control from here. Okay. To handle the third party controller, the library, right? Like simple MDB. The final one is render, right? Render. So let me break it down. Okay. So now in the render function here, uh, you're gonna call the function, right? Basically like callback function like this. Okay. And inside that function you will get the field, all the field, right? All the information. This field is exactly the same thing here what this register is doing, right? Same thing. Okay. And then you put this one here. Okay. Next, now you are allowed to add that field here like this. That is all you have to do. See, in register we have to put the title, right? But here you don't have. We just have given the name here, description, right? This field will be the like unchanged, unblur, and all that, right? Unref, all that properties of the object. Okay, so that is all we have to do. Now, if you submit the form, this data should have everything from this controller box also, right? So let's try now. So I have a bug to here, and this is the bug to details, right? Details page. Submit and look at this. I get the description. This is the bug to details page. I get title, right? This is string. This is string. I am having this both data now. Okay, when I submit. So I got the data now, right? So we almost done. Okay, we done with the creating the new issue form, right? We done. So let's commit this one. Okay, and then we're gonna move to the handling form submission. Not handling. So okay, I believe. So in the form submission, yeah. So let's do few more things and then we're gonna commit. So here I have data, right? What I will do is I'm gonna remove this console log now, and I need to send the data to the API, correct? So I will just put the curly bracket like this, and how I gonna send the API to the API now, right? This is the asynchronous functionality, like like it will take time, right? So I have to make this function async. Okay. The next thing is I need something to how I gonna send the data to the API. How? So remember Axios now. npm install Axios. Axios is a library to handle the form submission. Okay, to deal with the API. So we're gonna need this library, right? Axios. Okay. So I'm gonna import that now. Let's import here. Import Axios from Axios. Simple enough, like that. And then here I will say, right? I will say await. You just await because this is Axios will return promise. Okay, so await Axios dot post now. This is post method. Okay, we're sending the data, right? And now you put your API. So API slash issues slash uh, API slash issues, right? Issues slash what? API slash issues slash new, right? New, and inside you send the data. That data. Remember that data here. We saw the data, right? Await. Okay. Soon you send this data, right? It will add the data in our database. It will post because this API job is what? API job is to post the data in your database. Axios will use that API and give that data to the API, right? Basically, this data is same like like what is the route here, right? Now, if you go here, remember this post function will run, and that data is coming in the body, right? Request this JSON, it will get here inside the body. Now we're gonna check. We'll do the validation of that data. If no data, just return back. If data, then call the Prisma, right, client, and inside there is an issue schema, remember, and it will create new data, right? To basically create the data inside the database. Prisma job is to take that data and add in the database, right? Once this is done, and then it will return you the message, right? Okay, here is the new things we added in the database, and your status is this one, that is success. So that is what happened now. So I will close this. Let's check now, right? But before we do the test, I want to, soon I submit the data, right? Like when I give the data to the data I want to refresh the page. I want to go somewhere. Okay, so for that one, we're gonna use import use router, right? Router from next route navigation. Okay, last time use path name, by mistake I used this one, right? Remember that. The use router is the hooks that will route you somewhere. Okay, you do something and you want to go somewhere, just use this, right? Use router. So how you gonna use that? Just here somewhere, right? Here you're gonna say const uh, path, maybe not path, right? Let's say router equal to use router. Like you just have to execute that function, and now inside here, after this, right? After this, we call router dot push. This is the function push, right? And where you want to go? Slash. This is localhost 3000 slash issues right? Slash view. Let's go to the display, right? View. Okay, view page. Okay, yeah, that's it. Now we're gonna check. So this is issue 2, right? And then write some here. This is the details of the issue 2. Please fix this and update, right? Please fix the uh, issue and update, right? Update the status, something like that. Submit, right? So see, when I hit submit, this data will go to the API will put inside the database, and then refresh the page, right? Okay, see, I just sent back to the view here, right? View here, look at that. Okay, I create again. I will say this is issue 3, uh, details of the issue 3, right? I see here, even it gives me error now, right? So it will do some bad checking also. Okay, submit, and I'm sending here, right? Good. Let's see if this is the data is added inside our database or not, right? How are you going to check that? So here, npx prisma studio, right? That is what the command will open the browser, and you'll see the database. Look at that. So this was from the study which we sent from the API, right? This is issue 2, this is issue 3, right? And the details. It's working. Okay, so let's commit now, right? Let's commit, because we have done basic data form submission, right? So git add commit dash m, and we call it you form submission, right? Use React hook form. Use React. Basically, React hook form, right? Form React hook form, okay, and git push. So once you understand that the flow, how things are working, like even if you don't remember the code, if you understand, okay, there is the API, there is a hook form which will do these things, right? And understand the code couple of, just practice couple of times, write down yourself in the paper, right? Then write a code. Once you remember this is the steps you always gonna do. It's not like something magic, right? So done. What is the next thing now? Let's the next point, right? Next point is, so we have done this one, okay. So now handling error, right? Handling error is the next point, and then implementing client side validation. So this is the form, right? Right now we don't have any validation here. Let's say if I don't fill this one, I leave it blank, right? And I just fill here and I submit. So I get error here, right? It says what is this error? Because my database did not let me database did not allow the data to be posted, because remember, in database, in this API, right, we have what, we have the validation check, okay, right? We check the data there, so we get this kind of error, okay, because the process did not happen, right, completely. But how we can, right, how, like, not getting this error, but handle the error, like some kind of message here, some kind of message, right? How you gonna get that display, like I need to fill the title, right, or need to fill the description, things like that, okay? How we gonna add that? So the first way, right, to handle error is uh, here. Like, I mean, we can improve this code, right? This whole thing, you can write it in separate line of code, right? I mean, you don't have to write here within the form all these things, okay? Normally, what you will see, right, is let's see, what is that? On submit, I don't need this. So you see some error here now, right? I don't know what happened. Okay, let me go on back and then copy from here. Okay, so I need to copy all the way up to here. That's the one. Okay, so what I will do is uh, just above the return, right? I will just write something like, you know, const on submit, right? Submit like that, and that function, okay? This handle submit, right? Look at this. Now I can call this one here, okay? It's same thing, exact same thing, right? So to handle error in the async, right? What we do is, I hope you guys remember. So we have to practice this a lot, okay, in JavaScript, right? Again, in the revision time, this is one of the important things. So it will be try catch, right? Try catch. Where is that try? So this one, okay. So all the logic will go inside the try catch like this. And here is the error. You can console log the error. Console dot log error. Okay, error. So let's see what we get now. I will just put something here, right, and submit, and see, you get the error now, right? See, now you don't see popping up something in the browser, but in the console you can see some error now, okay? Something error, there is a message now, request failed with status 400, right? In the config you'll see a lot of things here, okay, but we still not getting the error from our validation. We are not getting that, right? This is just the Axios error, okay? Axios give us error, right? Because Axios says, okay, I'm rejected from the API, right? API do not let me send the data and something like that, okay? That's what happened. So that was the first thing. Also, how you gonna display some message, right? How you gonna display the message, like something like some, like general message, right? How are you gonna do that? So there is a way, right? We can handle that. Let's see. In the React, right? There is a hook called use state, correct? I need use state to store the variable, right? So in here, maybe somewhere here on submit, so just above on submit, right? Somewhere here, I will say const use state. For now, it's just empty string, but I will call it uh, error and set error, right? Like this. I will explain, okay, what I'm doing, right? So use state hook, you know, this is a hook. I think I talk about use state only, right? I did not talk about use effect and any other hook, okay? But use state is a very simple hook, right? To store the data in a variable. So this is a variable called error, and this is a function which will make change to this variable. Okay. So now what I will do, right? I'm gonna come back here and I'll say set error, right? And I'll send the error value. So just call it unable a unable able to create, right? Create issue. Try again. Something like general message, right? Okay. So now see if there is error on the top side here, right? It will go to the catch to catch the error. In that time, we will set this error inside this variable, and then we're gonna display this error right here inside our page. Okay, so let me put a div here. Uh, so I'll wrap everything in a div, right? Because I'm gonna add something new here, like this, inside here, and then what we can do is you just put the bracket like this, right? And I'll say if there is error, right? If there is error, then for now I'll just put paragraph and then display this. Okay, error. Display this only if this is true, if there is error, right? If there is some value in the error, then only display this paragraph. Okay, let's try now and see what happens. So if I submit now, right? So it just submit, unable to create issue. Look at that, right? Try again. Look at that. Okay, so if I submit, I don't know why it's refreshing. If I submit, unable to create issue, right? Try again. Okay, so that's what happened. If there is error, then only it will create the error. It will display that error, right? But can we make this nice, like nice component? Let's see, right? If we can create. What is that Redux UI? So I don't know what I open. So you're gonna find some component here, right? To use that. Hello dialog. No, no. I don't know what I want to use. Tooltip. No. Text. No, no. Not that one. Not spinner. Slider, skeleton, separator, select. I'm just looking for something. Uh, Card, no, call outlet. Okay, yeah, this is the one, right? So you see that box, nice box here, something like that. Okay, so how you gonna use that? Just import this callout, right? Uh, so we have anything to do with the Redux UI here? Yeah, callout. That is all you need, and now inside our here, so I will do. Now I'm gonna call that callout dot root. You have to call the root, right? And then inside, let's see what we can use. Callout dot text and just display that, right? So you can add even icons and all that, okay? But I'll just do callout dot text, and we're gonna call that error, error, error. So let's change the color also, right? So I believe the text can have, or I don't know. Let's see the variant, right? How it works. So text, that's something like this. Variant color, right? So color will be something, gray, gold, yellow, amber, orange. So I'll just make orange, okay? Color, right? Color. So the gap direction, not call out size one. Where is the color? I don't see how to use that. So I believe it's going to the root, right? Root one. So let's give it to the root here, color, and make it orange, right? So it will give you the option, because look at that orange, right? Okay, let's try now. So if I submit, you see that orange unable to create issue. Try again, but it's big, right? The big. So how are we gonna make that small? So what we can do is, maybe let's give it here, right? What we can do is same thing, max class name, max width, max width of LG, and space Y, right? Y of space Y of how much? 4, and we can say margin top of 5, right? Like, so it should be something like this. So you see that. So if you have something, like unexpected error, right? You get on the top. Okay, that is also. So this is how you handle the error, right? This is how you can handle some simple error. Try catch, set the variable with the user state and give it some message. And also you can use any component, right, to display. If error, then only display this one, okay? If no error, then nothing, right? So if I go back now, right, I say this is bug 4, please fix the issue and update the status, right, and submit. So it's okay. I mean, everything is looking fine. So I'm getting this one from where I have console log anywhere. Yeah, it was maybe from before, right? Fine. So we have done that. Now let me check the next one. What is the next one? So handling error is done. So let's commit now, right? Commit that. Everything's one by one. If you finish one section, just commit, right? Hit add, commit dash m, error, right? And git push. All right. So let's, now this is important one. Implementing client side validation, right? We can use same schema for form, right, and the API from, okay, from the API. Okay, so here I need to change here. We can use same schema for form, right, and the API. Okay, for form and the API. So extract the schema and place in the separate file, and then we're gonna use this one, this library, to use that same schema, right? What it is saying, right? I mean, see what I'm trying to do now, right? Until now, if you look at this form, you know, somewhere, right? If you go to Facebook somewhere, you submit the empty blank, or you don't put email or password, then it will give you message and a password is required or something like that below that field, right? You get some message. So how we can deal with that one, right? How you going to display the message? That is called client side validation. Means we checking our form that it is correct before submitting. Don't submit from here if there is no correction, no data or something like that. We are checking that within the client. This is a client side. Right now, this is a client. So we're gonna check here, right? Before, even if submit, this will not go. This will not go anywhere. Okay. We just check here. We're gonna check here. Okay. How are we gonna do that? So the first thing is we need schema, right? Let's see. So we have this schema, we are using this one. I mean, you can keep it this one, but better now, right? Let's improve ourselves. This is like a recreating, right? This this schema we just created, that let's call it the type checking, right? Or blueprint for our form submission. Okay, the data type, right? Type checking here. We also have type checking in the route, this one, right? So why not we use this to do the type checking here, and plus in the form also, right? So how we can do that? So you need to just store this in a separate file, and then we're gonna import, right? So the, I think easy way, yeah, easy way is just click here, right click, and let's say refactor, right? Refactor, and it will ask you move somewhere, move to a file, move to a new file. Okay, new file. We're gonna create a new file, right? So just click here, and that whole code moves to the new file. Call it issue form schema, right? So we can call it maybe let's call it something like general name, right? Let's give it some new name, like validation schema, because now you can add all the schema in this file, okay? Later, right? If you have to. So let's call it validation schema, like a general name, validation schema, right? Enter. And we can move this maybe somewhere in the app. Let's move it outside, right? So that not even, yeah, outside will be fine, I believe. Yeah, within the app, that is okay, because app has API and also the issue, right? Where you're going to use. Sometimes you will see people just creating new folder, right? Like leave or something, and there you're going to add that file. Okay, this file. But for now it's okay, I mean, that's fine. So see, everything is okay, looks okay, right? Everything is same, no problem. Now inside here, if you go to the API, right? If you go to the API, it's imported. Look at here, issue form schema, right? It's imported here, and that is what we use, right? See, so it will automatically add all that imports for us, right? Because we refactor from this file, so it will update automatically. Okay, so see, export was there already, issue form schema. It will import that here, issue form schema, because this is the name export, so you get that here, right? Yeah, so now, so we are inside the new, that is go up one step, that is issue, go up one step, that is API, and API, right? And go one more step. So one, two, right? Yeah, and one more step will be on the app, right? And then inside app, you're gonna get that validation schema, and from there, you're getting this function, right? Or this basically data. Okay, that's the data, right? Whatever object you are getting. Good. The next thing is using the same thing now, right? Inside our page here. So what we are trying to do now, right? Let's see. Let me look at this. Extracting the, not extracting, but implementing client side validation. So we have done this part now. The second, we have to install this to use that schema, right? Let's do that. So I'm going to install here in npm install @hook form resolver, right? This is a resolver. Resolve the schema, right, for something. Means use the schema which is already using for something, but please use that also inside the client side, like in the form, right? Use that. So that's the reason we need that. Now to use, we're gonna import what is that? We call it jod resolver, right? Jod resolver. So you're gonna get from the hook form resolver, right? Like that, okay? And you also import, I believe, G, right? Jod from jod. You're gonna need this also, right? Later. Okay. Now we can replace this uh, with our new schema. So let's import now, right? Import issue form schema. Look at this. You get something like this, right? Click on that, and from app validation, right? @app validation file. You get that one, okay? Now, how you gonna use this one, right, to replace this blueprint? Okay, because we are using this here inside our form. Where is that form, right? Here, right? Use form. Inside this use form hook, we are using that, correct? So I'm going to keep the same name, right? But see how you have to write is, I will comment that out for now, and you have to set define the type now, right? Type, and call it issue form. Just give the same name, okay? Like this. This is how you infer, right? Infer something in the client side. So schema, this schema is somewhere created already, the validation. To use here, right, in the client side, you call it type. This is just the name of the type, right? But the jod will infer, right? G dot infer, and then you put the bracket, right? And what you want to infer? Type of this one, okay? Issue form schema, right? That's it. This code will do the job now. Now you have this. Look at here, right? Issue form data, title, this, and description. You get now here inside this issue form data. You get that, and that is what we're using here in our use form. Okay, issue form data. Okay, same name. Okay, you just infer it. So we have same schema now, right? To use. Okay. Now the next thing we have to do is inside this use form, right? You give the object, pass the object, and then you have to type resolver like this. It will sorry, it will give you the resolver, and you have to resolve that. So resolver, and resolver will be something like, how you gonna write it? Yeah. So we have import that jod resolver, right? What is that? This one you have to run. So will be jod resolver. Okay, that function, right? And then you're gonna, and this says it's gonna need something, right? So an argument for schema was not provided. Okay, so you have to provide that argument, and our schema is what? This one, right? Issue form schema. Issue form schema. So this is all you have to do. Now what happened by doing all this, right? First thing is we are using the same schema inside the form also, and the next step is we have now access to all the form information like error now, right? This, now we have access to that, form state, means all the information of the form, error, or anything else, right? So I just need error. Okay, if I put here, right, like this, is control dot, let's see, bracket, and control dot maybe not right. This will give me a lot of so I'm just using one of them like error for now. So how I want to use now, right? Where, for example, if I did not fill out the form, that means this form should give me some information, right? The validation information. Okay, how that will be here. So first is let's go back now. Text field right here, this one. So just below that, right? That's the root. Okay, I will put in one line, right? So just below that, I will put this curly bracket and say if there will be error, right? So let's call it errors. This one s with s, okay? That's error, right? This one, this errors. Then you display the data, right? Like some kind of data. So if there is error dot, okay, I have to write it here, like error dot message, right? Error dot title dot message. If there is this information, right, then I will just put for now the, can we do one thing, right? Uh, Here, let's say there is something to write a text. Let's see, text. So typography, what is typography? Text here, right? So I can, the text is like a, you can use it for paragraph or label, div, span, right? All that as, okay. The text as paragraph, text as div, text as span, right? You can use that. But there is heading also, right? Let's see, there is something called heading, okay. Let's use that text, okay. No need to worry for now. So I'm going to import that text, and so if I have an error with the title, right? If there is error with title, then I will call that text and just display that errors dot title dot message, display that. So remember, this error is coming from our, remember that we have written the validation, right? This validation has, where is that validation? Let's check here. See, this title has this message. This message will be, displayed below that form, right? That input. Remember that. Now same thing for the, you can do same thing, and I'll just copy this now, right? I can copy that. Okay, and just below the control C, right? And just below this, this control, right? I will add that. In this time, I will say description. Please add the description here and also the description, right? Description like this. So let's try. We're done. So if I submit now, if I just submit, you see the title is required. You see that, and here is also required, right? But they are in same line. You have to just like break it down, right? So you can add a color here. Let's add a color of red, and also the color of red, and add class name also, right? Like class name, margin top, maybe. Also in the Redux UI, there is something called straight margin top, right? Or margin bottom. Just make it margin y equal to string, right? Maybe pass like something 3 4 like that, okay. And also you can put it here. I hope that will work. Let's try. So see, okay. So if I submit, it gets something like this, right? I don't know why I did not add margin here. So the one thing, right? This text is like a inline element. Okay, why not put like use as paragraph like p tag? Okay, let's put that. So it will be block element here also. Let's see now. Okay, now it work as a block element. You submit and you can see that information now. Title is required and this field is required, right? Okay, so that was the basically, like what was that, the step handling client side validation. Okay, that's how you handle client side validation. So I'll just copy this and git add commit dash m implement client side validation and git push. Okay, so now, right, most of the time, okay, so the thing is, right, we're repeating this thing, like look at here, what I see here is this field, right? This one we are repeating here, like text and all that, right? And in this case, like something like this, right? Now you can create separate component. Okay, so until now we don't have any components. I mean, you can just add here, right? I believe that will, I don't know if it will be used in other place also or not. So there is two things: either you create the folder here, or the better will be in the app and just call it components like this, right? Or even you can leave it same, component is fine, not a problem. Just leave it like that. Here what I will do is I'm gonna say error message, right? This is the component. Okay, so now this component, right, this component needs something, because we're gonna call this component here to use, right? And I'm gonna need this thing to display. Okay, I'll just copy that and go back to my error message, and I'm gonna just put here. So that is all I need, right? I need to import now the text from Redux UI. Next, you import from there. So I don't have this errors message, all that, right? I don't have. So I don't have, right? So what I will do is I'm gonna, this is the part of children. This is like a children to this text, right? You know. So what we can do is we're gonna send that from the other side, right? And we're gonna receive here. So let's call it children, because that will be the props. And how you going to check that, what is that children, right? What is that, what is the data type? So React already have, right, like uh, with what was that, with props with children, right? Props, something like that. Props with children. Okay, so this props is a children, right? So that will, do the validation. Okay? Next we have to send this children now. So now you don't need to write all this, right? Just put here that children. Good to go. Our job is to uh, use this component now here. So let's import that. I'm going to delete this. No need, right? I'll just delete that now. So import uh, error message from app component like that, right? And then go down here where we are using. Let's see. I mean, we have two places, right? All this. What I'll do, I'll just delete this. No more, right? No need to this. So remember, this is one thing, error dot title that message. Then only you're gonna render that. But I mean, okay, let's render that like this, and you just pass that children, right? So here, errors dot title, right? Title dot message. That's what you're gonna do. Okay, you pass that one, and you do the same thing, right, for this description also. So this error dot description dot message, and you're gonna, if that is true, right, from here, just take that out and then put that. So in this time you're gonna pass the descriptions. Okay, if there is an error, right, then only this component will run. Okay, so let's see if that is working or not. So submit, and we get that now, right? This is the, and you get here also. Okay, but something I don't like this. Why we need to do this now here, right? Why not we check here, so we'll check, right? Just check here on the top, like uh if no children, right, return null, and that will do the job, right? So if there is no children, if there is no error, then don't render this thing. No need, just return out, go back, right, like that. So here we can, just simplify more, right? So even you don't need, I think you're not gonna need that this part, right? You don't need that. Delete all this. That is okay. You're gonna send that. You don't need it. So here you have to write question mark, yeah, because make sure there will be description, right? And the same thing you can do for the other one also. But you don't need this, and you make sure you have the title, right? Okay, so that is all simplified. So what we have done just now, we refactor, right? We refactor the error message. Okay, so let's see if this is working. Submit, and that working, right? So let's call that git add, and refactor the error message, right? Basically we create separate component to handle the error message. There is the commit, git commit dash m refactor, right? FSCTO, or we can call it create the component, error message component, right? Component. What happened? So we did something. I see. Okay, let's try again, right? Git add, git commit dash m create component, and then git push, right? Okay, done. So what else now left, right? So if I go back here and I say this is what this is issue 5, please fix this issue, right? And update the status. So we submit, but we are sent here, right? Oh, okay. We should, it's not. I think something is wrong. Let me see if there is some error message. Things looks okay in the console. So this is issue 6 or 7. Please fix and update. Submit. Okay, that was something maybe error right in the page, but it's working. Okay, and because when you submit, we getting to the slash view, right, to display, like displaying all this. Okay, here. So I mean, this was is off. If not, I can check, right. NPX Prisma Studio. Yeah, and then you can see all that, right? So issue 7, 2, 3, whatever, right? So you can see that. Okay. So what else we can do now, right? What else? Let me see. Oh, it's adding the spinner now, right? So okay, what is the concept of adding spinner? Sometimes when you go online, right, and you submit the form, let's say you are making online payment, okay? You don't want the user, right, to make 2 3 times click until this is processed already, okay? So you want to hide this, right? Hide this and give it some kind of like spinning, like just make it blank, right? Like hide this, not hide, but let's make it hidden until the process is complete, okay? So how are you going to create a situation like that? So what we need is we need some kind of spinner, right? So let's add that here. I'm going to do just create component inside here, okay? Let's call it spinner. Yeah, so I believe let's make it tsx because it's going to return the component, right? Let's make it react component, okay? React arrow function create spinner, right? Spinner. So I need some code here, okay? How am I going to get that? Let me check. I mean, even Redux UI has some spinner. I just saw here, right? Something here. So in the component, if you go back, there is separator, skeleton, slider, spinner. So I mean, you can use this thing, spinner 1, 2, like that, will be better, right? Yeah, let's try. I mean, you can use this component also, it will work, but I will show you something also, right? So let's say, because we are using tailwind CSS spinner, right? Let's find out something. Uh, there is, let's click that and see this one. Maybe we can use this, right? So the code, it has little code, okay? Copy that and we just return, right? That HTML. So delete this and put here. Okay, so I have error because in React I cannot use class. Okay, I have to make it class name and also have to make it class name line. So done. This is the spinner, right? Exporting. Let's go back to the page and I'm going to import that. So import spinner, right? Okay. Now the point is where I going to use the spinner, where, right? So let's think like this. When you're submitting the data, right? When you're submitting the data, then you have to make a situation like, yes, I'm submitting, so do something, right? So how you're gonna create some kind of situation is use state is our friend, so let's use that one, right? Const, I will call it is submitting. This is a variable, right? And then set submitting, okay? Submitting, set submitting, right? Equal to use state, and for now, in the beginning, it is false, okay? It is false, right? But set submitting will be true when I'm submitting data, right? So let's make that. Soon I go for submitting the data, right? Like when I enter inside this try block, I will make true. Good. But if there will be some error, right, then I will make this set submitting to false. I don't need, right? False. Okay. Now when I'm submitting this, means I have the true block. So my each submitting is true. When it get true, right, in that time I will stop this button from allowing to submit again, right? So I'll say disable, right, equal to false, so true, right? When it's true, just disable it, so it's submitting, so that this button will be, when this become true, right, when this is true, this button will be disabled, okay? So if you click, it will be not allow you, right? And also you're going to add that spinner now. So spinner, when I'm going to add a spinner, uh, not all the time, right? So I'm just going to put this bracket and insert some JavaScript. So is submitting is true. If that is true, if that is true, right, then add this spinner, okay, and done. So every time when this is true, right, then only this component will run. And just check now. Let's try. So go back here, go back here, go back here, right? Where is this? Okay, let's check now. I don't know what is that error. When you're developing, you will get some error, right? So localhost is still new, right? Okay, I don't know why. I'm just getting this error. I don't know. But anyway, so this is issue 6. Please fix the issue and update the status. And look at now, right? Look at the magic. Okay, I will close this and I'm gonna submit. Look at that. I hope you guys saw, right? So uh, this is issue 8. Please fix and update the status. Just pay attention here, right, on the button. Okay, submit. I mean, it was so quick, right, and gone. Okay. So anyway, only thing is that button looks very big, right? The spinner. So can we fix that? Let's see. If I go back here, so height, class name, inline block, okay, height and width. Let's make this height is 4 and width is 4. And what else we can fix here now? So that's the span tag is okay. Anything more we can do? Status. No, right? I believe that is okay. Just change that height and it will be fine. So let's try one more time. Uh, can I bring it down so you guys can see, right? It's too big. Okay, so now I'm gonna do this is issue 10. Please fix and update the status. So if I submit, I mean, it was quick, right? Maybe by because of the internet, like connection, right? You maybe have not seen, okay, but it's working. So done. So what we have done just now, we learned how to add a spinner, right? Okay. Sorry guys. So there was a network issue. Let's continue. I will close this and git add git commit dash m added the spinner, right? Spinner and git push. Okay. So yeah. So this is I think this is good enough, right, for our creating issue, right? I want you guys to complete up to here. And I think one more thing I can share with you. Let's say, okay, so when we display our content, right? Tomorrow, when we create a view page here, right? When you're gonna add to get a data and display here below this button, then we're gonna talk about the font, right? We can change something in the font. So right now is inter font, right? But because we have used Redux UI, it will not work. We have to make some modification. Okay, so we will do that tomorrow in the view class, right? So I will stop here.